Good afternoon, Pokésports. It's your host, Mike, and I play with two Pokemon on the field. Today, my friends, I have this team from Kanto Quark VGC himself. He went and posted this on our Discord. You can go and find the link to that over in the description below. And I, taking a look at it, I was like, okay, well, this team, I've kind of seen something like it before, but there were a couple key parts of it that made me think, oh, this is incredible. We've got things like the weakness policy, weak armor, armor rouge, with the flip turn, iron bundle, the ice shard, Abomasnow. We've got some really quirky things in this team, and so I figured, you know what? Let's take it into the dance floor. Let's see if we can, pull out some wins with it, have some fun. So here we are doing that. Anyway, let's go and get into our first game. Let's go and see what we can do with it. All right, let's go. And our first opponent is Dreaded Foe, who's bringing a Talonflame, Great Tusk, Fluttermane, Gothitelle, Iron Bundle, and Arcanine. So looking at this here, I have an idea of what I want to use, right? This whole combo revolves around Iron Krampus, Double O Blue, Abomasnow, and Toblerone. If you're going to be bringing the Abomasnow, you might as well always bring the Toblerone. We live in kind of a meta where there isn't a ton of weather going on. So if you can bring out the snow, chances are it'll probably stick, meaning that your Cetitan is almost always going to be super fast. So we're going to be locking in with Iron Bundle, Double O Blue, Abomasnow, and Toblerone, Double O Blue being the Armor Rouge. Now, the reason for this is because of the combo that lives inside Iron Bundle and Armor Rouge, and I'm going to show that off in this battle here. If you haven't figured it out by now, this is a post-commentated battle because I recorded the entire thing and then realized that I just don't have audio on me speaking, and I don't know why that happens sometimes, and it's not something I can check until the end of the battle, the end of the recording, but it's very frustrating when that does happen. So anyway, c'est la vie, we're here right now. Let me just double check. Yeah, it looks like we are recording now, so it's all fine, but it was a very frustrating time last night. Anyway, Dreaded Foe is going to send out Gothitelle and Arcanine here, which is, not exactly a showstopper. In fact, the Iron Bundle attack drop is going to be super relevant here. So looking at this, I have Blizzard, Flip Turn, Icy Wind, and Hydro Pump. I'm just going to hit the Flip Turn on my Armor Rouge. And that is going to trigger the weakness policy. It's also going to trigger the weak armor. And then it gives me options, right? I can either hit a Heat Wave to hit both the Arcanine and the Gothitelle, or I can hit a Stored Power in order to hit just the Arcanine. Or I could hit an Energy Ball and hit the Gothitelle, right? The option to Terrastalize is there, but you won't trigger your own weakness policy if you do Terrastalize here. So I do have to stay Fire Psychic for this turn and this turn only. Gothitelle's going to use Fake Out, so unfortunately my Iron Bundle isn't going to be able to attack my Armor Rouge. And Snarl is, comically enough, going to miss my Armor Rouge, so that would have triggered the weakness policy anyway, which likely would have taken out the Gothitelle, but no, it wouldn't have taken out the Gothitelle. It would have done twice as much damage to that Gothitelle. So now that Gothitelle is sitting in range for me to KO it as long as I trigger my weakness policy. But the nice thing here is that they don't know what I'm about to do with my Iron Bundle. So Iron Bundle's just sitting there. It's unimposing. They're worried that it's gonna fire a Hydro Pump over at that Arcanine, but no. They don't know what's about to hit. So Arcanine's gonna protect, fearing the Hydro Pump. But again, that's not what I'm doing. Iron Bundle's gonna use Flip Turn. That's gonna hit my own Armor Rouge. It's gonna do quite a bit of damage, to be honest, but that's the Kevin strat for you. How many times have we all seen Kevin do something like that, where you hit your own self with something that triggers a weakness policy, boosts your attack, boosts your special attack, but at the cost of doing a bunch of damage to you? This would have been completely different if this was like Dynamax meta, where everybody had double the HP, but either way, I digress. We're gonna go into Abomasnow. Abomasnow's gonna be big and hulking and scary. Gonna drop the Snow Warning. And the Heat Wave is coming in full force against that Gothitelle, not against the Arcanine, because that hit Protect. Gothitelle is going to just take all of its HP and damage. It's going to go down. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And at this point, it's like, okay, well, now there's only a couple of other Pokemon on the field. We've got Fluttermane in there. We've got we've got something else in the back. But now do we hit another heat wave? Do we go for stored power? Who knows? And this Abomasnow is just kind of sitting there. It's a little, it's I don't want to say weak, but it's slow, right? And because the Abomasnow is slow, I'm thinking like, oh boy, do I need to protect this turn so I don't get murked by a Flare Blitz? Because I can KO the Arcanine if I target just the Arcanine, and I can probably KO the Fluttermane if it doesn't have a Focus Sash. But I decide that what the most optimal play, I think, is to actually go for another Heat Wave. I think I'd consider Terastallization, and I might actually end up doing it. Let's see what I do. Do I go for Stored Power? I do go for Stored Power, yes. So I'm going to Terastallize, I'm going to go for Stored Power, I'm going to try and take out that Arcanine, and hopefully by Terastallizing, I save something a little bit. Maybe if the Fluttermane decides to go for a Moonblast into the not Armor Rouge slot, into the Abomasnow, but the Fluttermane does decide to just go for a Protect. Right, so my Armor Rouge is just fine. That Arcanine is not fine at all. It's just gonna go right down. Now, Stored Power, it does more damage the more stat changes that you have. So all of those stat changes that have affected my Armor Rouge so far, they all add to the power. I don't know the exact number right now, but it's nasty. It's nasty. And one thing that I did learn through Weak Armor is that I can actually outspeed a Fluttermane through my Weak Armor speed boosts, because my speed boosts, they give me 2, and that pushes me just ahead of Fluttermanes there. So here I'm in the same kind of predicament as before, where I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do against this team, but I did see that the Iron Bundle triggered its not weakness policy, its booster energy, meaning that it doesn't have a Focus Sash, meaning that Fluttermane, who also didn't trigger a booster energy, may have a Focus Sash. Now, it's between that, unfortunately, and Life Orb, so I still have not seen if it has Life Orb yet, because it hasn't gone for an attack, it's just gone for a Protect. So one of the better ways to figure out if your opponent has a Focus Sash or anything like that, is just to pay attention, right? Oh, Armor Rouge living at 1 is huge. Because then we hit it with the Heat Wave, we take out the Fluttermane. Iron Bundle lives with the Secret Sash, living at like 6 HP. But Fluttermane's going to go down. Because of that Ice Shard, we were able to break any potential sashes, and also outspeed it because of Armor Rouge. So anyway, at this point, I'm trying not to run or Ice Shard myself. Hey, there we go. We're going to Ice Shard the Iron Bundle and just take it out for an easy game 1. They don't even want it to happen. They're not going to let it happen. They just want me out of there as soon as possible. So Dreaded Foe, that was a great game. Let's get into game 2, and let's see if we can make this team shine even more. Let's go. And our next battle is against a team that's a little similar, but it looks like the only difference that they've made there is they swapped out the Arcanine for a Tyranitar, which, as kind of insignificant as that seems, that does change up what I feel like, how that affects my team a lot. Because now we have something that can change the weather. We have that Tyranitar that can set up the sand. So the Abomasnow that's going to be setting up the snow is, threatened a little bit. Does that change what I'm about to do? Not at all. I'm thinking, you know what, let's go and bring in Iron Bundle, let's bring in Armor Rouge, let's bring in Abomasnow, let's bring in Toblerone, the Cetitan. Just because the Abomasnow is so slow that bringing it in against a Tyranitar often means that I will get the snow up to replace the sand, and sometimes if the Tyranitar goes and swaps the snow for the sand, doesn't actually make too much of a difference. As long as I can get that Aurora Veil up, then I will be just fine. Then I'll be just fine. Regardless, we're going to start this game. They're going to start with Great Tusk and Talonflame, and I'm going to bring out Iron Bundle and Armor Rouge. So I'm thinking here, like, maybe I can probably do the same thing, but I don't know. I kind of flip-flop between for a little bit. I'm like, I don't know. Should I go for a Blizzard maybe? Just a super fast Blizzard. I know that the Great Tusk has not very much special defense, so maybe just going for a Blizzard is the best thing. Maybe even going for an Icy Wind so that my Armor Rouge can continue to outspeed. might be the best thing, but we're going to see here. I am going to go for a Blizzard, looks like. Now, should I go for a Blizzard or should I have gone for a Flip Turn into my own unit here? We're going to see. Anyway, and then we've got to choose with Armor Rouge still. I'm saying, okay, well, maybe Stored Power. Stored Power is now just not going to do anything, so we're going to hit Protect. Armor Rouge is just going to try and protect itself first turn. Whenever you see a Talonflame and a Great Tusk, you always kind of expect some sort of combo, you know, benefiting the two of them at the same time. It's an amazing combo because what the Talonflame can do and what the Great Tusk can do is exactly what's about to happen. So Armor Rouge is going to go for Protect. And the Talonflame is going to go for Tailwind. What that's going to do is that's going to make the Great Tusk faster than everything else on the field after the Iron Bundle. Wow, never mind. I totally thought that the Iron Bundle was going to be slower than that after Tailwind. It was not. And then the Great Tusk is going to go for a Headlong Rush on the protected Mon. Just not going to work. Now knowing that Iron Bundle is faster than Great Tusk, though, it's a game changer, right? Because you know that it's going to be faster. The Talonflame is there. It's in Tailwind, and it's probably going to be faster than my Iron Bundle, certainly in Tailwind. But now I have the chance to go for another attack. So I'm just going to go for a Heat Wave. It's not going to hit because the Great Tusk is going to protect here. And the Talonflame is going to hit a Will-O-Wisp, which was a little strange, but, you know, that's fine to see. So Iron Bundle's now burned. And now it's just mission take out Talonflame. So we go for the Blizzard. It doesn't hit the Great Tusk, obviously, and it does miss the Talonflame. I believe this Heat Wave hits. It protects against the Great Tusk, but it hits the Talonflame. There it goes, but it doesn't KO. Which at the time I was like, oh man, I didn't get a KO. But then I thought about it and I was like, wait a second, this is a blessing in disguise. Because look at how little damage that Talonflame did to my Iron Bundle because it just used Will-O-Wisp. But it didn't go for any like Brave Bird or anything like that. If it went for a Brave Bird, it probably would have KO'd itself. And then they would have been able to send out their next Pokemon while still in Tailwind. But anyway, we're still in this situation, right? So now Iron Bundle and Armor Rouge just need to finish off the rest of these Pokemon, but that's not going to happen because they're going to take out that Great Tusk. They're going to save that terastallized, I almost said Dynamax, that terastallized ground for later. Maybe they can get a big Headlong Rush. Maybe they can get a big Earthquake off later. Who knows? Armor Rouge is going to protect, and Talonflame is going to go for the Hail Mary Brave Bird, which is not, unfortunately, going to take out my Iron Bundle. I am able to take out the Talonflame this time, so the fast Mon on the field is now gone, and Iron Bundle is just going to get buffeted by that Sandstorm, buffeted by the Burn. Armor Rouge is going to get buffeted by the Sandstorm as well. But again, super fine. I'm in a very, very good situation right now, where kind of the biggest thing that I'm worried about is just the sand on the field. I can quite easily replace the sand right now by swapping out into Abomasnow, replacing that sand with snow, and also kind of saving the Iron Bundle. Because what I'm worried about is that this Fluttermane is still in Tailwind. I can start doing some Protect shenanigans, but personally I don't really like to do that too often, unless it makes perfect sense to do so. The Fluttermane can outspeed my Iron Bundle, hit it with a Moonblast, something like that, and KO it. I didn't want that. Plus, also removing the sand for the snow removes the 50% special defense boost that the Tyranitar gets, meaning my Armor Rouge will be able to hit a super powerful Energy Ball on the T-Type. So we're going to go into Tera Grass for Armor Rouge, just so that Energy Ball does even more. I believe I went for Energy Ball. Maybe I went for Heat Wave. Who knows? Regardless, going into Tera Grass means that I'm not Psychic anymore. Means that my Armor Rouge will survive at least one hit from this Fluttermane. However, being in Tailwind, the Tyranitar does get to use Rock Slide before me. I believe it's also... It is not faster than my Armor Rouge, but it is faster than my Abomasnow, just normally. But anyway, the Tailwind's going to peter out right now, meaning I can bring out something that can potentially KO the Fluttermane, that being Cetitan. So we're going to swap that in. There you go, Michael. Go for it. Cetitan the Cloud Watcher. Gonna pop in. Shiny Cetitan is probably the best shiny out there. Just saying. And now, as long as Cetitan can survive one shot, we should be okay. Now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, what do? Do I go for an Aurora Veil? I'm probably fine to go for an Aurora Veil, as long as I can KO this Fluttermane. And now that they're not in Tailwind anymore, I can probably KO this Fluttermane. Go for a Heavy Slam on that thing. Heavy Slam goes for the differential between your weight and its weight, and Fluttermane is a literal piece of paper. So they're trying to flip out into the sand here, but I don't care about the sand at all anymore. As long as I can get this Aurora Veil up, as long as I can outspeed a T-Tar sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't even matter, especially because I have Aurora Veil up. This Great Tusk only has like 1 HP, 1 HP actually, because of Focus Sash. So both of my Pokemon have Ice Shard. I can just Ice Shard either one of the... Not either one. I can just Ice Shard the Great Tusk to go and take that out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. The Abomasnow is going to use that, and I'm going to take this time to look up the difference between Heavy Slam and Liquidation here. Because as I said, Heavy Slam goes for the weight differential between your two Pokemon. Cetitan, I had no idea how heavy that was. Tyranitar, I had no idea how heavy that was, so I went and looked it up, and I was like, okay. I mean, one's a kaiju and one's a little, ground whale. No, turns out Cetitan is 700 kilograms, I think, and the Tyranitar is 225 kilograms. So it's a heavy boy. It's a chunky boy, but it is, Cetitan is just like pure, unadulterated heavy. So if you're ever wondering if a Cetitan is heavier than something, probably is. It just probably is. Regardless, it does not KO the Tyranitar, unfortunately, and everyone is going to get buffeted by the Sandstorm. We managed to survive at least a turn against this protecting Great Tusk, so now we can just do the same thing as the last time, where you go for the Ice Shard, you try and take it out before it can do anything, before anybody can do anything. And you just win the game like that. Not totally certain if Heavy Slam is about to take out this Tyranitar, but we're going to see. I did take out the Great Tusk with that Ice Shard. It's not going to get the chance to do anything this turn. And Cetitan goes for the Heavy Slam on the T-Tar, and that does take it out. Good night, my friend. This team so far is so powerful, and I love it. I love the weather control. I love the defense control with the Aurora Veil. Surviving that Rock Slide was absolutely because of Aurora Veil the turn before. And yeah, this team's doing great so far. Let's keep going with the team into game 3. Let's see if we can keep the magic going. All right, let's go. Okay, and this battle is against Zero, who's going to be bringing in the Dragonite, Great Tusk, Arcanine, Iron Bundle, Amoonguss, and Fluttermane. All of these teams, they seem rather similar because they are. We've been facing a lot of Great Tusks and Arcanines and Iron Bundles and Fluttermanes on the meta, not just today, but just over the past couple of weeks. It's a very strong core. It's a very solid, meta maker. And so I like bringing in all these teams that kind of shatter that a little bit, I'm not exactly looking to play the same team as everybody else all the time, just out of principle, right? Like, I don't think Pokemon is that type of game where, the same 6 Pokemon is always going to be what takes you to the end of a tournament. But here I'm looking at this, I'm kind of wanting to change it up a little bit. We can go with Abomasnow. We can go with Armarouge. Maybe Iron Jugulus actually works a little bit here. Let's bring in Iron Jugulus. And then Toblerone, of course, because we're bringing in the snow. Bringing in the Cetitan only makes sense, especially against the Fluttermane. Cetitan is a very surprising Fluttermane counter, especially in the snow. Now, if they go and bring the sun or they go and bring the sand, then that's one thing, but honestly, a lot of Pokemon out there just do not, a lot of teams out there, not a lot of Pokemon, just seem to not be bringing a lot of weather these days. I've been noticing that, and I've been saying, okay, you know what, maybe let's bring snow back. I think in every series for the next little bit, we're going to try and bring snow back. Because this change was very, very significant. This snow warning change was very, very significant. Anyway, the Iron Bundle speed is going to rise, meaning that the Fluttermane either has Life Orb or has Focus Sash or has something else like that. The Abomasnow and the Armor Rouge, the combination is to hit it with a Ice Shard and Ice Shard. I'm not sure if I actually do that in this one, but we'll see. We're going to go for a Heat Wave, a Stored Power, thinking about it. Not sure what to do. A Heat Wave may do the most damage to everybody, but a Stored Power would probably KO something. So we do go for the Heat Wave there. The Terastallization is going to be on the Fluttermane. It's going to turn it into Tera Fairy. Now the only thing that I hope is that I don't get one shot by a Tera Fairy Fluttermane here. But if I hit myself with an Ice Shard, then I likely will outspeed it, because we saw that. We saw that in the previous game where a weak Armor Rouge with +2 speed does outspeed the Fluttermane. It does not outspeed the Iron Bundle. So that's exactly what we do. We Ice Shard into ourselves. It does a decent chunk of damage, but less so than the Flip Turn, admittedly. So weak Armor is going to trigger. And the Weakness Policy is going to boost my attack and my special attack. Now, the Iron Bundle, noticing that I was fire, goes for Hydro Pump. This Heat Wave is going to go off just fine, and it's going to KO the Iron Bundle completely. Now, the thing that I learned here is that Heat Wave does not completely KO a Fluttermane, which is important to note here, because this Dazzling Gleam is going to do work on this Armor Rouge. It's going to take it out, which isn't great for me, but is fine. My nose is itchy. There we go. Now at this point, I just need to bring out something that's super fast that can take out the Fluttermane, and that obviously is Cetitan. Now, they happen to bring out the scariest thing for me, which is just the Arcanine. It hits me with the Intimidate, meaning that my Cetitan is just, for all intents and purposes, nerfed. Thinking about it now, I probably could have and should have gone for an Ice Shard on the Fluttermane and a Liquidation on the Arcanine, but I was so hyper-focused on... I believe I did. Oh, did I do that? Oh, maybe I did that. Oh, cool. Am I smart? What am I thinking with the Iron Jugulus? No. We're not swapping into that, are we? No. Are we going to go for the Ice Shard? I want to so bad. I know what happens to this Abomasnow, and that's the scariest thing. I'm considering going for Aurora Veil or Ice Shard here, because I'm like, okay, if I can take out the Fluttermane, but then, I don't know. Maybe I was just running out of time, not thinking. Oh, you know why? Because I thought that the Arcanine was going to Flare Blitz into my Abomasnow, and I could have kept it alive another turn if I went for Protect here. And so that's exactly what I did. I went for Protect. I went for a Heavy Slam to go and take out the Fluttermane. And now we'll see the Arcanine goes for a Flare Blitz, but it's not on the Abomasnow, it's on the Cetitan. So I could have, on that turn, gone for an Aurora Veil to set up my defense, or I could have attacked into the Arcanine to go and deal more damage to it. It did a ton of damage to itself with Flare Blitz, so I thoroughly believe my Liquidation probably could have taken it out. But either way, now I have my Abomasnow and my Cetitan out, kind of in a scary situation, because now I still need to set up the Aurora Veil to reduce some of the damage so that my Iron Jugulus doesn't just immediately get blown up. But here I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can take out the Great Tusk. I know how much defense Great Tusks have, so that is just probably not going to be the best. But if I can chip it down a little bit, I do have the Iron Jugulus in the back, with which I can try and take it out with a special attack. Because as much defense as a Great Tusk has, it does not have that much special defense at all. So we go for an Ice Spinner on that. It does about as much damage as one would think. And the Flare Blitz does go onto the Abomasnow this time, just doing a bajillion damage. Arcanine's going to take a little bit of damage here, but I'm not really worried about Arcanine just as a whole. Nor am I worried about this Great Tusk anymore, because we've lowered its defense, we've lowered its special defense. It doesn't have very much special defense to begin with, so if I bring out the Iron Jugulus, I'll probably be able to KO it with a probably an Earth Power, considering that, you know, Iron Jugulus doesn't have any other stab moves that the Great Tusk doesn't want to take. The Quark Drive is going to bring up my speed, but that does mean that it doesn't bring up my special attack, and that's not all that powerful for me. I could attack it with a Dark Pulse, I could attack it with a Flash Cannon. They're all just not very effective, and I'm just scrolling through that. The Flash Cannon is effective, but I am Dark and Flying, so this Earth Power or Flash Cannon, it really comes down to what move has the most power to it. Flash Cannon has 80 power, and Earth Power does have 90, so Earth Power is the right move to use here. So I'm just considering that. Still have 2 turns left of Snow. That doesn't really apply to me here, but I will be going for the Earth Power here. Nah, not that. There we go. We're going, there we go. Earth Power on the Great Tusk. Now, by hitting that, it surprisingly did not take it out. And this is why I was saying that not having the booster energy go for my special attack was relevant, because I think this Great Tusk must have been Assault Vest, because that just did not do, there's 4 seconds left. That just did not do nearly as much damage as I thought it would. Also, attacking into the Arcanine would have been nice, because I didn't know that it had Play Rough on it. And hey, you know what? Just sometimes Arcanines have Play Rough to deal with Dark types. It happens. Anyway, those are the games. Let's take this team into the lab, and let's talk about it a little bit. All right, come on, let's go. And here it is from Kanto Quark himself, S17. I don't know what the name of that team means, but regardless, we've got Iron Jugulus, the Abomasnow, Armarouge, Iron Bundle, Fluttermane, and Cetitan. Your team IDs over there, your Pokepaste is down in the description below, so go and give this team a try. This team, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you're looking to get to Master, if you're looking to get up in the ranks, this is a great team to do that, because in a best of 1, when your opponent doesn't know what you're about to do, this team masquerades as a team that does something that it doesn't, right? This Fluttermane has Focus Sash, it has Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Imprison, and Trick Room. It cancels out Trick Room. Not something that you would expect a Fluttermane to do. This Iron Bundle, it doesn't actually have booster energy. It has Choice Scarf, Blizzard Flip Turn, Icy Wind, and Hydro Pump. You're seeing an Iron Bundle flip turn. When do you ever see that? You don't. It's attacking into the Armarouge that has Weak Armor, Weakness Policy, Heat Wave, Energy Ball, Stored Power, Protect. Doesn't need the what's that called? Expanding Force, because you don't have the Indeedee and you won't be doing the damage. Stored Power actually does more damage here. The Armarouge is a Pokemon that you would kind of expect to see with a set like this, but even still, like every time you see an Armarouge, you're always thinking one way. You're thinking, oh boy, it's gonna be it's going to be the one that soaks up fire. It's going to be the Flash Fire one. Oh, it's going to be the one that has Expanding Force. But where's the Indeedee? Anyway, then there's the Abomasnow and the Cetitan. Like, just setting up Aurora Veil sometimes just wins you the game, right? If your opponent can't do as much damage as you before you do the damage to them, you're going to win. That's just Pokemon. Welcome to Pokemon. Then the Iron Jugulus, that's a Pokemon that I'm sure it has specific uses, and you'll probably find those while playing with this team. But booster energy to boost the speed, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, and Tailwind. Tailwind certainly will help it set up the speed first, so that you can maybe, I don't know, set an Imprison on Fluttermane, or get your Iron Bundle faster than other Iron Bundles, even though it has Choice Scarf, or get your Armarouge faster than other Pokemon. I don't know. It's in there for a reason, and you can probably figure it out, because I didn't in this game. And that's okay. Anyway, big thanks to Kanto Quark for putting this together. Kanto Quark is an amazing creator, so please go and support him where you can. And folks, that's going to be all from me. So I've been Mike. I play with 2 Pokemon on the field. Use this team. I cannot stress enough. It is great. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.